A big thank you to Tokyo Treat and Soccer Co for sponsoring this video. Alright, yo, what's up? Something I almost forgot to say at the very beginning of this video is that everything I am going to say here is speculation, okay? We never really know when an event is going to happen. We never really know what an event is going to consist of. I am going based off of 10 years of experience in PokeMMO and history with playing the game and playing all the events previously. We never really know what's going to happen. This is just a preparation guide, and this will give you the tools of what you could do, which could be really helpful and might be really helpful, but some of these things might not pop up. It's possible that none of these things are relevant. Hopefully some of them are. Just a quick disclaimer, this is all you can do. Yo, what's up? My name is Patrouski, and the final event within the PokeMMO event season is coming up. The Lunar New Year events within PokeMMO, typically in late January, maybe this year, might even end up being in early February, since the official Chinese New Year should happen on February 10th, from my understanding. Now, there's a lot of things to talk about, and this will be my best attempt at giving you guys a guide on how to prepare for the Lunar New Year event in PokeMMO. But the Lunar New Year event itself is a really special one. It's one of the ways to get one of the limited mythical legendary Pokemon within PokeMMO. And it's also one of the only two events that has a raid/dungeon piece of content in the game, which a lot of people really enjoy. And since we actually didn't get that piece of content during the Christmas event, they removed it this year. A lot of people are wondering what's going to happen with the upcoming Lunar New Year events. And then a while ago, teased on a forum post, they talked about pushing one of the big updates, the game-changing updates comparable to alphas that was meant to be released during the 12th anniversary events over to the Lunar New Year event. So in short, this event is going to be a pretty darn big deal, and there's a lot of things you can do to prepare for it and get ready for it. Now, this event is super special in the fact that you need to get Sinnoh done as soon as possible. Getting Sinnoh done is probably the most important takeaway from this video. If you were to do one out of all of these things, I really recommend you get Sinnoh done because you're going to have to farm for Shaymin. Shaymin is only available for like a 1 to 2 week period around this time of year during this event once a year. That's it. And that also makes Shaymin the rarest shiny in all of PokeMMO, possibly all of Pokemon, in my opinion, since there's not a single one that exists. It's been in the game for about a year, but there's not been a single shiny one revealed. You cannot breed them. The only way to get even a chance at that shiny roll is during the Lunar New Year event, so don't miss out this year. Now, technically, from my understanding, you actually don't have to have the entire region done. You have to have up until the Floroma Meadow done, but it does help to have more and more of the region done. And then you also need a bunch of other regions done to actually go be able to farm the tablets. Generally, the more regions you have completed, the better for events in general, so trying to complete as many as possible. Specifically, getting the Sinnoh one done before this event is crucial. All right, on to step number 2. You're going to have to want to prepare yourself a hidden ability skill swap Spinda. Unfortunately, it's really tough timing because these actually got really expensive. I wonder if people are buying them out in preparation for this event because they know that they're super good. Let's go ahead and double check the price on them, but try to get these as cheap as possible. You don't need any super good IVs on them at all. You could technically go ahead and get yourself a level 1 Spinda and put a focus sash on it, and it's going to do what you need it to do. All you need Spinda for is to skill swap over the contrary ability when catching alpha Pokemon. Now, Spinda is kind of a luxury for alpha Pokemon. You don't need Spinda usually to catch all alpha Pokemon, but the reason why it's so nice during the Lunar New Year event is because during this thing called the quote-unquote tablet grind, and I'll get more to that in a bit, at the very end of it, you end up catching like 12 or 13 alpha Pokemon in a row and then doing Shaymin. So if you want to have really good consistency and have a lot better help catching all those 12 to 13 alpha Pokemon, I really recommend getting yourself a skill swap hidden ability alpha. It doesn't have to be alpha, but just hidden ability. You need skill swap and contrary. Those are the two main things. The reason why is when you switch over the contrary ability over to an alpha Pokemon, it essentially makes it so usually, alpha Pokemon have this ability where if you throw a Pokeball and you fail to catch them, their stats all boost by 1. Well, contrary is going to make them all minus by 1, so you're slowly lowering the alpha's stats. Now, if you lower the stats too much, or sometimes seemingly by random, the stats can kind of reverse, but it's not really that big of a deal. Don't panic, don't worry. Just start throwing Pokeballs and lowering their stats again, and you should be fine, and it should be a pretty safe catch. This is still easily, in my opinion, one of the best ways to help yourself catch an alpha. Swagger is also a really good ability on this set, because after you go ahead and get off the skill swap, if you can get off a Swagger, it simply lowers the opponent's attack stages by 2, as opposed to raising them because of the contrary, and then you also confuse them, so it's super good. And then on top of things like these Steel Swap Spinda, to help yourself catch all of those alpha Pokemon, you're going to want a pretty typical catching Breloom. Breloom is a really strong catching Pokemon because it has way better base stats in general than Smeargle. We'll get to Smeargle in a sec here, and I'll definitely have a Smeargle for this. I think one Breloom, one Smeargle, a specific kind of Smeargle, Soak Smeargle. We'll get to it in a sec, but Breloom, you want your typical Toxic Orb, Poison Heal. That Sustain is super good during like big alpha catches like this and constant alpha catches like this. Some sort of single target move to lower hordes if you do that, or just lower the HP. I know Seed Bomb, Strength can all work, Mach Punch, whatever you want. I like Strength for the HM utility as well. False Swipe Spore. I like Substitute because you end up being able to out-heal the sub damage and kind of staying up forever if you're able to Spore and then sub and then heal up with your Toxic Orb and Poison Heal. It ends up being pretty powerful. The IVs, you don't need anything crazy. My Breloom IVs are like notoriously not good. My nature is notoriously not good. It's like Hasty Nature. It's a Breloom I've had for, you know, a couple years now, and it works solidly. This is my catching Breloom for pretty much everything. It does not have to be anything crazy, but it would help to have better bulk for sure. And then next up, we have the Soak Smeargle. Soak is really important because during certain alpha catches or certain Pokemon, you're going to want to have to soak them. Soak changes a Pokemon's type over to water type, which is really important for when you're trying to catch a grass type Pokemon, because then it allows you to spore grass type Pokemon, which you normally wouldn't be able to do. And then you can also go ahead and soak ghost type Pokemon, which then allows you to false swipe them. Both of these things makes those types of Pokemon much easier to catch. Next up, let's talk items. There's a lot of different Pokeballs that, in my opinion, are super good for catching alphas and super good for the event itself. Timer Balls are easily my #1 most used Pokeball during the alpha catches. They're just super good. Timer Balls are awesome. Let me explain actually why. Timer Balls. So essentially how they work is they slowly increase their catch rate over time, and I believe on turn 11 they reach that 4 times catch rate. So eventually, once you get later into the battle, and alpha battles just usually take quite a while as you're like slowly prepping them down and getting them all ready for catch. It pretty consistently happens where you're on turn 12 and have plenty of time to just go ahead and spam those 4 times catch rate mons super reliably if you get to those turns. Now, before you get to those turns, you probably want to go ahead and use some Dream Balls. Dream Balls are really good right now. From my understanding, the Dream Ball essentially increases its catch rate the more turns a Pokemon has been asleep. So generally, if you were to spore an alpha Pokemon and it were to stay asleep that turn, which it obviously would, and then stay asleep the next turn, you can go ahead and Dream Ball or stay asleep the next turn. The more turns it's asleep, it goes up to a 4 times catch rate, and that can be really good for getting kind of some cheesy catches on alphas, whether it's like turn 3 or turn 6 or something where you're not quite ready for those Timer Balls. Timer Balls and Dream Balls are probably some of the best right now in the game, as well as Quick Balls. Sometimes you can risk it. Some people like to do it. It kind of depends. Sometimes you're able to Quick Ball an alpha Pokemon and get that 5 times catch rate at the very first turn. Quick Balls, you really should only use them on the first turn, and then after that, just don't worry about it because they become super bad. But first turn cheesy alpha catches can be fun. It's kind of risky. You may or may not want to do it. It's up to you. Quick Balls are nice for when farming some of the tablet Pokemon as well, though, and we'll look at more of the tablet stuff. It's hard to explain. We'll just watch my last year's video covering the tablet grind here in a bit. But Quick Balls are pretty solid for getting quick catches and just moving on from things, really. And then just Pokeballs, and Great Balls, whatever you may need to just catch all the other random tablet Pokemon. All right, yo, what's up, guys? Sorry to interrupt your video, but it's to talk about something kind of important. Tokyo Treat Box is back, which I'm super happy about, and it's great timing for me that they've come back to the channel to sponsor us today because I really was looking forward to the February snacks, and these are easily some of the best boxes that I've seen. So, all right, what is it? Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. are snack boxes that'll be sent to your house directly from Japan, actually from Tokyo. And it is assorted snacks sent directly from there, things you just can't get here in the US, and their boxes are always absolutely filled to the brim. If I pour it out too much, I'll end up spilling stuff. And this month, especially, we get some little Pokemon candies. Celebrating the Valentine's Day, celebrating February, do you guys want to add some Pokemon little sweethearts to your candy, whether for a loved one, your partner, whoever it may be, maybe yourself to chow down on? It's a great time to do so. My personal favorite thing from the boxes are usually the sweet mochis or gummies, which is awesome because this month has a lot of those. Now, I get Sakura Co. and Tokyo Treat boxes every month, and I usually split them with my loving fiance, and it's a fun pastime that we always do. But during this month, during Valentine's Day, it's just extra special, and it's perfectly made for that. Now, my favorite thing personally about the Sakura Co. box is that each month they give you a little permanent household item or dish to either use to eat your little candies and treats or just have around your home to up your shelf game. The booklets they send you also do a great job of explaining and showing off the themes and just always showing you and explaining to you what snacks are what and which ones you may enjoy the most. They also host fun little prizes and competitions and contests within them to earn little baggies and stuff. They really are trying to build a community, and I think it's super cute, and they go above and beyond. The great thing about Valentine's Day is no matter who you're spending it with, a loved one, a partner, family, whoever it may be, you still need some snacks. Make sure to check out my link in the description to get your own Tokyo Treat Box and use the code below to get a discount. Once again, description, code below. Let's get back to the video. And then my next tip is to watch last year's tablet grind to learn what that was like. And that'll be linked in the description, but I'm also going to put it up on screen for a little bit now. But without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about tablets for PokeMMO, the Lunar New Year event. The end game goal is Shaymin, and everybody wants it. So how do you get it? Let's go ahead and first cover the basics, which I'm going to be straight taking off of a fantastic forum post that I will be linking down in the description below. Huge credits to Elizon and everyone who contributed to this. It's a great community effort, and you guys allow people, even like me, to be able to get information on this event as quickly as possible, every single event. So thank you. Let's go ahead and break it down. Event basics: collect 12 of each type of tablet and take them to a specific pillar of light. Locations will be linked down below. I'll talk about those in a sec. To encounter the alpha Pokemon corresponding to your tablet. Only 3 alphas can be found at a time, and they change every 20 minutes. So that's the most important thing to understand. I'm actually standing right here in game next to a tablet. That's why I have my player render distance down to 1, which is why you only see one person and then everybody else is a silhouette. I want you guys to be able to see the Pokeball. Do you see this Pokeball here? It's not supposed to normally be here. It has a little bit of a gold shimmer to it as well. But when I collect this Pokeball in game, it's going to show me I get a Rooster Zodiac tablet. So you're getting a random animal sign from the Lunar New Year calendar or whatever, and you're able to collect those and essentially get all these different tablets. Go to my bag. I collected a couple tablets so far, 2 goats, and then 1 rooster. So that is going to be what you're going to be spending most of your time doing, is just running around and collecting tablets. Now, the best way to run around and find all these tablets is going to be by joining my Discord or using some sort of social outlet to get these call outs. Since it's a very social thing, they change locations every 20 minutes. You have to be on top of it. You have to be in some sort of channel, some sort of Discord, or you could try global chat, but it might be a little tough. My Discord's pretty organized. That's how I found out about this one, as you can see right here under tablet call outs on the left side. People call them out very nicely, very polite. Make sure to keep it very concise in this chat as well. All right, and hopefully that should recap and explain most of what the tablet grind is. You essentially run around and collect those tablets at social callouts, and once again, there will be a tablets chat in my Discord once again this year, similar to the last year. All right, next up, let's quickly talk the most boring thing that I mentioned in pretty much how to prepare for anything in PokeMMO, but especially events and during events in PokeMMO. Preparing and saving up Pokeyen. Stocking up Pokeyen is super important, whether you want to make investments for that event, whether you want to just have fun and buy the vanities. Maybe you want to stock up on RP and get whatever the specific limited time vanity is. That vanity usually costs around 1500 RP. The Lunar New Year event is pretty good historically, I would argue, for vanities. I know the Golden Dragon Mask initially spawned from this event, and that's a really beloved vanity for a lot of people, but I think so did the Golden Tiger Mask, and that one was not so much as loved. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe the White Rabbit plush also spawned from this event last year. Yeah, the 2023 Lunar New Year event is the event that brought us the White Rabbit plush, which is one of the most beloved vanities in all of PokeMMO and shot up in price really rapidly. So I think it's a really important event. This event has some real 50-50 coin flips on vanities. Some vanities that spike up to 30 mil within a couple months, and some vanities that jump down to 1 mil. So take your investments at your own risk. All right, next up, you may want to buy or plant any sort of Gracideas or nature herbs that you want. I say this because since Shaymin is coming back to the game, this makes Gracidea, or Shaymin is possibly coming back to the game, this makes Gracidea a lot more relevant. Gracidea is actually used to adjust the IVs of Shaymin. If I wanted to lower this Shaymin's attack to 0 so it can't take as much foul play damage, I would go ahead and pop 31 of these Gracideas on it. If I wanted to raise the IVs up to 6 times 31, like I did like right here, I would need as many Gracideas as I need per IV. Gracideas are what allow you to change the IV on Shaymin, so Gracideas are super important. And when you're farming Gracideas, you also have the chance at nature herbs, which have kind of bumped up in price quite a bit recently due to things like Suicune, Zapdos, and all like the other legendaries being released. In my opinion, you pretty much only need bold, timid, or modest. I can't imagine what other nature herbs you would need unless they release something crazy like Skyform. You know, Shaymin maybe, like some physical ones, but right now, yeah, the nature herbs you would need are some of these if you want to use those and if you want to actually move set or nature set or correct your Shaymin. Now, something super crazy is that, dude, there's so much to cover with this event. Something super crazy is that this whole time we've pretty much just been covering the Shaymin grind. We haven't even gotten to what the dungeon/raid piece of content is. I'll show a little clip of that here in a split sec, but essentially, there is a raid/dungeon style of content where you control a Pokemon. You yourself are a Pokemon, and you have access to moves and such, and you work in a cooperative group to defeat as many Pokemon as possible before running out of resources and dying. Whenever you defeat Pokemon, you're able to then take control of those Pokemon. You can then use items to actually go ahead and evolve them and get max EVs and sort of train things up. It's almost like a survival, almost roguelike-ish, tower defense-ish. There's a lot of elements to it. And by playing this event itself, this is literally how you bring sealed product into the game, like the lucky envelopes and the lucky red envelopes. Apparently, which I have none of. Here we go. Lucky red envelopes and red envelopes. These come in from actually playing the raid/dungeon style of content. And if you're good at it, you'll get more. It's also really important to note that for this style of content, if you seek out ahead of time 1 to 3 teammates, friends, or people that you know are good at the game, operate in a similar way to you, you are going to obliterate this dungeon/raid way more effectively with good communication, with good teamwork. It super matters in an event like this. Worst case scenario, if you have to just open queue and sort of play the event, at least nowadays we do have like a queue system to queue into events like this, which is awesome. Previously that didn't even exist. You'd have to find those sort of links and groups, and you really just add people to, you write people and just add to a link to actually be able to link up and go into the event itself. But getting structured teammates ahead of time can be super powerful, and finding people, if you don't really have any friends that play PokeMMO, finding people in my Discord. Once again, my Discord during events is genuinely a super helpful resource, and I can't even take much credit for that. It's really just my incredible Discord mods that manage everything and help people a ton. But this video will be linked in the description, but let's go ahead and watch a little bit of it to see what it was actually like last year.
Screen pops up. I'm gonna click ready. Everybody clicks ready. We're gonna jump in. This is my first impressions. I haven't tried anything yet or done anything yet. So hello to all my teammates, Full Send, Slab, and Gariku. Let me go ahead and bring up my link chat to see if we can talk to them if need be. I guess grab Lopunny is the Pokemon that I'm left with. I guess that's kind of fitting since it is the year of the bunny. Let's check out my moves. So I don't really remember this event super well. Mending Prayer. This is a healing pulse type thing. I have Fake Out and Return, Jump Kick. Pretty decent move pool. I'm quite happy with this. Like we are going. Let's go ahead and jump in. I don't know if anybody's talking yet. I'll go ahead and say, yo, smiley face. I'm not sure if there's any communication that we might need to do. Okay, here we see some Pokemon. I believe the way it worked is if you killed a Pokemon, you would essentially take control of them. I'm seeing some Pikachus. I'm Lopunny. I should look for, trying to figure out what I could go for. I do have Limber. Actually, that'll be perfect. Let's go ahead and fight this Pikachu. Why not? I'm gonna go ahead and fight this guy. Yep, I'm just testing. Let me go ahead and give him, yeah, just testing. It looks like we got into a double battle. Just pretty cool. I'll take the Minccino. Oh, should I? Target. What should I do? I think the best play here is for me to fake out the Pika. I don't know what my teammate's gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and fake out the Pika. That did a lot more damage than I expected. I just don't want this Pikachu to essentially get off any damage against my friendly Azumarill. That's what I was worried about. Guys being super cool and polite. You love to see it. But this guy had a Seed Bomb. Okay, well, kind of backfired on me and my good friend the Azumarill here. Sorry about that, man.
Even within that first little bit of run, you can see how many mistakes we made and how much of a learning curve there is for an event like this. You really end up starting to remember what Pokemon have what moves, like that Minccino having the Seed Bomb, watching out for the Pikachu, communicating with your partner like, hey, I should have said like, hey, I'm going to fake out the Pikachu, you target the Minccino, or vice versa. Communicating and having that proper efficiency really starts to matter in an event like this, and you really kind of see a lot of strategies develop. Once again, the full link to that video will be in the description, but I think that is everything for me to cover. If you feel like I missed anything, let me know politely in the comments. Like the video if you enjoyed it. It really does help out tremendously with the algorithm. That can't be understated. Liking helps out a ton. Dislike if not, that's totally okay. Subscribe to the channel for daily PokeMMO videos. Follow me on Twitch for streams. Right now I'm actually streaming a ton during Shiny Wars. This video might come out towards the end of Shiny Wars though. Discord's down below if you're interested in that, and if you want to go above and beyond and support the channel, YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, and PayPal/Venmo donations do go a very long way and allow me to stay full-time at making content around this beautiful game that I love so much. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. I'll see you later, and good luck in your Lunar New Year event. Thank you so much for watching until the very end of the video, and I hope it was a positive asset to your day. The same way everybody listed here is a positive asset to my day, going above and beyond and allowing me to make content every single day. Thanks so much for watching, and have a good one.